Hi, Rishabh.
Hey James.
Hi, thanks a lot for joining us today. Maybe you could start by just telling us a little bit about yourself and particularly what you're doing at Google.
Sure. Firstly, I want to thank you for inviting me to the podcast. It's great to be here. And a little bit about myself. I'm currently working with Google Cloud Canada as a senior solution consultant in data analytics and data science space. I'm with the cloud customer experience team, where our purpose is to make our customer experience better, as the name suggests, on Google Cloud. And overall, I have 12 years of experience, all in data. And recently, I've been spending a lot of time, riding this wave of AI and learning something new every day in this wave of AI. So that's about me.
Great. So, Rishabh, it's been a really important year for Google Cloud. Obviously, announcing earlier in the year that Google Cloud is now profitable. It kind of feels like not only have they caught up with Azure and AWS, but are now focusing on areas which are creating real competitive advantage as a cloud stack. Anecdotally, as Inflexion, we have been recommending Google Cloud products just naturally to our clients, both as the basis, the foundation of their data stack,
Mhm.
also as part of a multi-cloud strategy. Allowing them to leverage some of Google's cloud offerings. Um, I know we'll talk more about those developments in a minute, particularly in the context of Google Cloud Next, which was just
Mhm.
held, of course, around a month ago at the time of recording. But I'd love to hear a little bit first about what it's been like to be part of that journey at Google.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it has been a great journey so far, and great to see as well that you are recommending Google Stack to your clients. As I personally believe the GCP platform is technically quite advanced, and it's a robust cloud platform that excels in scalability, performance, data management, and particularly analytics and AI, which is kind of the area that you specialize in. But it also shines in the ease of
Mm,
use, which is pretty important for a cloud platform, right? And talking about Google Cloud Journey, as I don't know if you remember from the results of Q2, the business has been of Google Cloud has been growing by I think approximately 28% year over year, which is a pretty phenomenal growth. And Ruth also mentioned that there is high focus on investing in cloud aggressively while also focusing on profitable growth. And you can see with the investments that are happening in Google in AI, and now with the
mm,
release of some world class AI products on GCP, and also Google's AI optimized infrastructure is basically the platform of choice for startups that are building now in Gen AI. So
mm,
today, more than half of all funded Gen AI startups are GCP
mm,
customers, which is fantastic, right? And
mm,
also, which includes 70% of Gen AI unicorns, or those that are valued more than 1 billion. So
mm.
that shows the growth of Google Cloud, but also specifically the acceleration of AI and Google Cloud. So I'm really excited for the future of Google Cloud, how it will help the business and shape the future. And it feels great to be part of Google and seeing these blowing products and working with great minds here.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic. And you know, as we said, we're just off the back of Google's major event of the year, Google Cloud Next. How did you find that event?
Yeah, I just loved the event and the big announcement that were made at Google Cloud Next, especially in the data analytics and MLAI space. Cloud Next is the most awaited event of the year, particularly from the cloud perspective. So this event is our annual conference, as you know, where we have exciting things for everyone. So be if you're a developer, if you're an IT professional or business, and this includes like presentations, even technical sessions, doing hands-on labs, and also there's a tremendous opportunity to network and collaborate. Of course, there are big product announcements, as I've talked about it. So, and as you know, like this year I would say has been kind of an inflection point in the world in itself about AI, and it has taken the world by storm, in past year or so. So in Cloud Next 23 as well, 2023 as well, there was a big focus on AI, or in particular, I would say generative AI, also known as Gen AI. So you must have seen a lot of product announcements related to Gen AI. So overall, I would say it was an exciting event, and I just can't wait for the next 24 event, which I think is sometime in April.
Yeah, lots of really exciting announcements, as you said. We'll try and cover a few of them in the data analytics and AI ML space today. I think there were 161 announcements in total, so we won't ask you to talk about all of them. But I'm particularly interested to hear your thoughts on kind of what a transformative year it's been for Google in terms of AI products specifically.
Yeah. So this year has been all about AI, isn't it? I think for everyone. And I think it'll be for years to come, as there is a big opportunity when we talk about AI. Uh, and I read a report from McKinsey, or a study where they have estimated that Gen AI is expected to deliver, I think, more than $2 trillion in economic benefits, which is huge, right? So you can see why businesses are focusing on it, as they don't want to be left behind and want to take the competitive advantage by jumping in early to make most of this opportunity. And even like early this year, there's an event at Google that happens, I/O event. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. So Google had announced some GenAI products at I/O also, which included Duet AI in both Workspace and GCP. And then we saw so many new capabilities announced this year after that. And as Thomas also said during Next 23, we are in the entirely new era of digital transformation, which is fueled by Gen AI. And Google has been a AI company even before 2023, I would say, when all these products were announced. So if you look at the AI, how AI is embedded into all Google products, ranging from as simple as Google Translate that we use, Google Workspace and GCP, and even Google devices. So like Pixel 8 Pro, which was just launched, I think a week back from when we are recording today, and it also boasts of its AI capabilities. And I personally love the Gen AI features in Workspace. So like integration of Gen AI in Docs, Gmail, Slides, Sheets, etc. So now, can you imagine like how your working behavior is gonna change drastically? I would say in a positive way, with all these AI capabilities as your fingertips. It is going to be fascinating.
Yeah, and we've certainly seen the integration of those AI capabilities across all those products you mentioned. You mentioned Duet AI as well there. I know that comes into a lot of different stats, but particularly in terms of the data analytics announcements at Google Cloud Next 23. Obviously, Duet AI in Looker and BigQuery was a key announcement. I was completely blown away by the functionality in Looker that brings direct integrations to conversational AI and Lab Foundation models, which I think will change the way we work with data. From your point of view, how do you think this will change the world of BI in the future? I was speaking to one of our clients just last week, in fact, and we were talking about the future of their data analytics. And he said to me, "Are we just going to reach a point soon where we dump all of our data into a massive data lake and then just ask a question to AI and it will go and sort everything out?"
Right.
And I'm interested to know, both in the short, medium, long term, how do you think dashboards maybe could they become obsolete
Mhm.
going forwards? But what will the changes be? Do you think?
Right. So I'm going to answer this multi-part question first by addressing,
Mm,
the product announcements in Looker specifically. And this is one of my favorite announcements. So Do It AI, which we talked about
mm,
briefly. So Do It AI within Looker now. So it builds on the innovations that Google has been doing over the past some time on Looker and Looker Studio ecosystem. If you see some of the announcements, how they are now closely integrated, Looker, and with the launch of Looker Studio Pro, and it now brings direct integrations to conversational AI and large foundational models. These cool capabilities that we gonna see with Looker Studio Pro, it's gonna help us create entire reports, or I would say advanced visualizations with only a few sentences of instructions. So you can imagine how much time it's going to save, and it'll minimize the need for technical expertise, right?
mm,
It'll automatically create brand new, Google Slides presentation right from your Looker Pro, and even so the language of Looker is LookML. So all the LookML code is something that you'll be able to generate using natural language, or I would say it's going to assist you, right? So to simplify, I would say, imagine you're just doing a Google search on your data to get insights and visualizations, and then it's going to embed that into a slide to present it. So this, I would say,
mm.
or I consider is the next level of self-serve analytics, right? Uh, so I
Yeah.
That's why I love this. You also asked
Mm,
about, which is a very critical question about dashboards with all the changes that we are seeing. So I think we have to look at the idea what we are trying to solve here. So the idea is actually to empower the users with self-service and also modern technologies, which is such as AI ML, to answer their own questions, tell their own stories,
mm,
and make better, more analytics driven decisions, and rather not spending time in building old school, centralized kind of dashboards. So
mm,
there would still be business users and execs who would want to go to some kind of dashboard to retrieve the information that they would need on a constant or regular basis. Uh, to simplify, like just picking an example, imagine if you are counting your daily calories every day and you want to look at it every day. Would you go and ask that question every day to Google, or to any app that you're using, or would you rather
mm,
prefer that having that metric available on your app dashboard readily? uh, I think for those kind of, if you draw a parallel for those kind of things, you might would still prefer a dashboard, right? But
mm,
when you're exploring, you might say, I just want to ask questions just like I asked to Google, right? And I should be able to do it. So that's where I see things going between, and that's my personal take on how dashboards and how this AI ML would help us. So AI ML will help us. It will boost our productivity, by automating tedious data preparation, enrichment task, and also think about detecting anomalies in your data or any hidden insights, unseen
mm.
patterns, predictions. That's where the power of AI ML will come.
Yeah. Really interesting to, you use that phrase, kind of the next level of self-serve analytics. And it really does feel like some of that more spontaneous analytics that businesses want to do to self-serve, where it's not just set up centralized dashboards. It's, what are the unseen patterns? What are the anomalies? The work of an analyst, as it were, can really start to be brought out uh, by this technology. I just wondered also, Rishabh, what the implications are for, that's the front end is changing, as it were. What do you think the implications might be for um, the data engineering end of that? I mean, I, in a way, does it feel like there's going to be even more implications, even more kind of work and effort gone into structuring the data and getting it in a form that the AI can use it, um, certainly in the shorter term.
Data is the oil that's going to power it, all the AI ML, right? If you don't get that foundation right, your there's no point having your AI ML then, right? So it's like building a house, right? You need to build your foundation, which has to be solid, on which you can build your first floor, second floor, ground floor, whatever you are building. So that,
Yeah.
think of your data is going to be your foundation. So emphasis for data engineers that the data which is powering AI ML is there's data integrity, it's stable, it's
Mm,
available, there is proper pipeline setup, it's in the right format that AI can consume and read it and also learn. Because what
mm,
ML AI is going to do is it's going to learn from that data. So that data needs to be in a consistent, I would say, way that it's a AI can be trained to learn from it, right? So it's going to play an important role, and I think that's
mm,
where you will see the shift when I talked about self-serve analytics, where businesses are more empowered to find insights and do analytics at their end. But it's like data engineers, and I would say people who are managing the data, who need to ensure that the foundation is laid solid.
Another exciting announcement was, the launch of BigQuery Studio. So, how do you think BigQuery Studio is going to help data teams?
Yeah, uh, I think that was also one of the exciting announcement. You brought a good point about BQ Studio. So for folks who don't know, so I'll just cover a bit what BQ Studio is, or BigQuery Studio. It's basically a collaborative analytics workspace which helps to accelerate data to AI workflows. So what you can essentially do with BQ Studio is think of it like you're using SQL, Python, or other language like or natural language directly. You're now able to do that within BigQuery itself, and you're able to leverage those code assets across Vertex AI also, and other products for workflows. So, for example, analytics users like data scientists will be able to now use Python, which they have been using in a Colab networking notebook environment. Notebook is what powers data scientists, as I say, for data
Mm,
analysis, exploration. But you are now able to do that within BigQuery without leaving BigQuery and just say, I can't do this in BigQuery. I have to now look at Vertex AI only. So it is
mm,
bringing all of this together and making it a collaborative space, right? So big studios notebook environment, it supports browsing of data sets, schema, auto completion of data sets, columns, and also querying and transformation of data. So that's a key feature of BQ Studio. Also,
mm.
it extends the software development best practices such as CI/CD, version history, etc. So it provides an AI-powered collaborator for contextual chat and code assistance. Think of it when you're writing a code, an assistant is basically guiding you, and it is doing auto completion. It is guiding you what's the best way to do it. So big do it AI, which is in the BigQuery as part of Studio, it'll help understand it basically understands the context of each user, their data, and uses it to auto suggest what kind of functions you should use, what kind of code blocks you should use for both SQL and Python. So it's really
Mm,
powerful, I would say. And also
mm.
it allows you to uniformly enforce security policies across like profiling, quality, right within BigQuery. So if I'm a BigQuery power user and I want to work with data scientists, so it is enhancing BigQuery so much that you're able to do so much within BigQuery. Uh, I think sometime back Google had announced a few years back BQML. So folks who are not able to like code in Python, or, they can build their or create their models within using SQL in BigQuery. Now you can even create notebooks, you can work with data scientists, you can use BQML as well. So that's like a really powerful tool, or I would say service, which is BigQuery. And it's a full blown service, I would say, end to end.
So another, category of big announcements were in the ML and AI side of things at Google Cloud Next. There were quite a few big announcements there. So maybe you could just tell us a little bit about, you know, Duet AI in Google Cloud,
Mhm.
and how that could help on the ML and AI side, for example.
Yeah. So we have been talking about Duet AI, and this is the term that keeps floating. We have Duet AI in Workspace, Duet AI within Vertex, and Duet AI generally on Google Cloud, right? So
Mhm.
Duet AI, think of it as your partner, AI partner in anything that you are doing with the Google product, I would say. So
Mm.
in talking in terms of like Duet AI on Google Cloud, there are a few features that were obviously launched or announced at Cloud Next, but you know features keep on getting added, and AI world keeps changing. So I'm talking today, maybe few weeks later things change. There are new features that get added, but as of today, like some of the key things that I remember from Next within the Do It AI Google Cloud was one on the conversational assistance in natural language. So it basically helps you answer questions to help with cloud tasks and also building no code apps. So think of it, say you are a developer on cloud, and you want answers on specific questions you have, or maybe best practice to implement something in cloud with some sample code. So
Mm.
that's where you can use Duet AI conversational assistance. um, I think of it as like when we are in the office and we need help from someone who's our buddy in the office. Hey, can you help me? That's
Mm.
what you're essentially asking. Do it. Yeah, hey, can you help me? I'm just stuck here, or I just need to know the best practice. And also, if you are like building apps, writing code, you can use AI powered code assistance, which is part of Duet AI on one of the feature of Duet AI on Google Cloud. So that helps you in your coding work. So
Mm.
all of like there are additional features too, but I would think these are few that are running on top of my head. So this basically helps you build applications quickly. You can use Duet AI to get fast answers to even data analysis questions with contextual SQL completions, which is you can do directly in the console.
Mm.
So you can quickly become productive with new data sets by generating and iterating queries in natural language. So it's all about playing with natural language, is what Do It AI is.
Yeah, and you know, another key announcement that I think people, especially AI developers, are going to love is the availability of additional powerful open source Gen AI models.
Mhm.
Um, so, what kind of challenges do you think that's going to help solve for organizations?
Sure. So bit of background for folks about different kind of models. So Vertex AI provides first party models which are say from Google,
Mm.
like ImageGen, which is used for generating image, Cody, which helps you in your coding, and Chirp, which is for speech recognition, and also there are third party models. So at Next 23, we saw there were announcements that there are upgrades to foundational models like Palm 2, but they also added other models. So I think now there are like 100 plus models available in Vertex AI today. How this helps and the challenge it's going to solve. So this is going to help enterprises match models to their needs and access
Mm.
full transparency into a model with open source options. So as an enterprise, I'm not bounded today by availability of only handful of models, because Vertex AI now provides 100 plus. So depending on the use case that I have, I can all access the models, fine tune it in one single cohesive ecosystem, which is Vertex AI. I don't have to like, hey, I want to use Llama 2 because that suits my need of what I'm doing, but sorry, you're on Vertex AI, you cannot. That's not the case. No, there are 100 plus models now, so it opens a lot of doors now for the enterprises on the modeling front, that on the Gen AI front specifically, that they're able to leverage these open source brilliant 100 plus models all within Vertex AI.
And it really feels like that's a kind of philosophy of Google to open up,
Yeah.
and make the best of the cloud and enable people not to be locked in and to make the best of the cloud. And I suppose also on the AI side, it really is these models that are from a business point of view, really helping to leverage the power of AI early on.
Yeah, yeah. And you raised a very good point about like being open source, and I think you would see a lot of enterprises going towards multi-cloud as well. And Google is like you could embrace it, and that's what is my personal take or understanding is, because you have products like BigQuery, Omni, that allows you to bring data from different cloud providers, so that you can do analysis in one place. So you're not like stuck with just one and say, hey, I just can't get my data out of other places, and I have to do separate analysis if I'm on one platform and separate analysis if I'm on another platform. We can bring all of that together, uh,
Yeah.
which which works for the enterprise, right? They're picking the best thing that works for them as per their use case.
Yeah, I really like that as a philosophy, as Google's philosophy, to allow people to use the best in class of whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
So just coming to the end now, Rishabh, but there were quite a few announcements for Google Workspace as well. Again, including Duet AI again across Workspace products like Chat and Meet. What do you find you're using the most in Workspace?
Yeah, so I love Google Docs, and I do spend a lot of time in Google Docs, and of course Gmail too. So within Google Docs, imagine Duet AI helping you, summarize things, what a doc, what this doc is talking about, quickly summarize it, and similarly, you can get a summarization in email as well, right? But also uh, uh, helping you write better doc as well as you're writing. So any kind of proposal or any doc that you're writing, say if you're a consultancy, you're writing a proposal, it's going to help you speed up your tasks as well, or your delivery as well. So I think docs is do it AI within docs is something I love it a lot, and that's one of my favorite most used features.
Yeah. Yeah. As you say, great for all users and much appreciated as a consultancy as well.
Yeah.
Um, Rishabh, I know we're running short of time, and I'd love to talk more, but it's been really really interesting to have you here today and to tell us a little bit about this kind of recap of the announcements at Google Cloud Next. And so yeah, just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you, James. It was pleasure being here and talking about some of the great Google products, specifically on the MLAI side and data analytics.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.